Hey everybody, Mark Davis in the moments following our January 31st, 2013 show. Kind of a tall order today. On the big issue of guns, imagine your surprise there, I know. We got to do something that's kind of hard to do. Some people say it's nervy, some people say it's rude. It does, takes a little bit of chutzpah to do this, but I'm going to do it, and you need to do it too. Anytime you want to bring clarity to an issue, and you're up against something like we're up against these last couple of days. What I'm talking about is speaking truth with love to people who are wrong about an issue, but they are victims, and as such, in a very, very empathetic state. I go straight to Gabby Giffords, obviously, and the unbelievably moving 45 seconds or so that she had before the Senate committee. Mark Kelly comes in, sits her down. My heart just is so full for this woman and her strength. And this man, I mean, he's an astronaut and his wife got shot in the head. I mean, talk about two things that will make me just pour love and prayer and good wishes onto you. However, and here we go, they're dead wrong on the issue. They are completely mistaken on the issue. There sat Gabby Giffords haltingly going through those notes handwritten by her speech therapist. I mean, you're gonna come up against this? Yes, I am, and you have to too if you feel the same way, because we can never allow ourselves to say, well, she got shot, man. I mean, that's a conversation ender. She got shot. Yes, she did. And I'm thrilled that she's not dead. I am thrilled that she's on a road to recovery, and I'm filled with good feelings about her and her husband. I love them. They are the picture of what a marriage should be, a picture of human strength, an inspiration to all. But none of those things makes them right about the issue. She looked up there, those members of Congress, and said, "You must act. There's something that must be done now." Well, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, not the thing that you want. And what you apparently want is for law-abiding citizens to have obstacles in their path to fulfilling their Second Amendment rights. And that's wrong. And just because you are a victim and you got shot in the head doesn't make you right. Any more than you remember the, what they call them? The Jersey Girls. These were New Jersey widows, 9/11 widows, who had some pretty, bold, hot opinions about the war. Well, having your husband die in 9/11 doesn't make you right about the war. Now, there's nothing that automatically makes me right about the war either. I mean, what makes us right or wrong is the merit of our arguments. Now, if you took a bullet, that doesn't make you right about gun control. If you lost your husband in 9/11, that doesn't make you right about the war on terror. And then we get to maybe the one of the hardest ones of all. Washington wasn't the only place where there were hearings and people speaking on the record about Newtown, Connecticut. Newtown, Connecticut was the other place. And there was a mom who told a story about holding the little hand of her little boy in a casket. This should never happen. She should not have been there telling that story. But her wish was to weave this into an impassioned plea, for more gun control. That would not have saved her son's life. And then there was a father, and again, a grieving father. I pray for him. My heart goes out to him, but his experience, his loss doesn't make him right about this. And his story, his testimony was, the point that he made was that the right to bear arms, the right to arm yourself, is second to my child's right, to live a life and not be shot. Well, sir, I love you and I pray for you. False choice. It's a complete assault on logic. That's not a binary choice. Well, we could either have the Second Amendment or my kid lives. That's not the way it goes. I mean, future children's lives will be saved when we allow more people to arm themselves on school campuses and such. And of course, then the whole debate flows after that. But listen, I could have found 10 people who have been shot or who have lost their kids to sit down and say, look, we need armed guards in the schools. We need less gun control, not more. People who are victims who would take my side. But that doesn't make them right. That doesn't make them right. If I can sit down a guy who's been shot who says, look, a dude shot me in the head, but we don't have a gun problem. We have a lunatic problem. The fact that he was shot, that doesn't make him right. The Constitution makes him right. So anyway, I suppose on today's show, I danced around as much as I felt I needed to in order to surround myself with a certain amount of necessary Teflon to show a sufficient amount of love to Gabby Giffords, a sufficient amount of love and prayerful support and empathy for these parents who have lost their kids, because I have exactly the feelings that we should have as human beings for these people. But clarity requires us to maintain that victim status does not make you right about an issue automatically. Well, whether you think I'm right or wrong, call me anytime, and we'll talk about things, these and other issues, on The Mark Davis Show, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 Central Time here on 660 AM The Answer. But if you're watching this on Thursday, the day that we tape, Friday morning is the big woohoo 2-show marathon, 5 to 8 a.m., Bill Bennett's Morning in America. We'll talk some guns, some immigration. I will also, since it's Friday, February 1st, the 10th anniversary of the loss of the shuttle Columbia. Were you like me? Were you out in the front yard, binoculars, telescope, all dorked out, going to watch the shuttle Columbia re-enter the atmosphere, going to make a nice white stripe across the sky? We'd watch it re-enter in the skies over Texas and then run in, fire up Fox News or CNN, and then watch it land. As we now know, it never landed. It never landed, never made it, burnt up in the atmosphere. And 10 years, and this is a crazy week that's just ended. You know, this past Monday was the anniversary of the Shuttle Challenger. The 27th of January was the 46th anniversary of the loss of Apollo 1. Ed White, Gus Grissom, Roger Chaffee in 1967, fire on the pad that really held us up in our race for the moon, but we still got it done by the end of the decade, as President Kennedy wished. January 28th was the anniversary in 1986 of the shuttle disaster. And now here we are, Friday, February 1st, with 10 years since Columbia. Tough week in space history, but an opportunity for us to remember those who have died so that we can, as President Reagan said after Challenger, escape the surly bonds of earth and touch the face of God. All right, listen, thank you very much for listening and watching, and we'll see you again on the radio and right here at 660amtheanswer.com.